In a surprise announcement, Six Flags Fiesta Texas has announced their 2018 coaster early before the rest of the parks. Typically, all of them announce their roller coasters at once. However, Fiesta Texas just now announced Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster. It is the first ever RMC Raptor. And wow, let me just say, this is crazy. I mean, we'd seen all of the RMC test tracks and stuff like that, so we really weren't quite sure what a layout could be like for this thing. So now that we are finally seeing one, wow, it is crazy. So I'm going to be going full in-depth into this coaster, talking about all of the aspects about it, because there is certainly a lot to talk about here. Stats-wise, it will have a 113-foot tall lift hill. The drop will be 90 degrees straight down 100 feet. It'll hit that top speed of 52 miles per hour. It'll have 3 inversions, overbank turns, and of course, airtime. Of course, this coaster is going where Power Surge used to be, and if you look, Pandemonium is still in its place, so that ride is not moving. So the fact that they're able to fit this in is really cool, and if you look at the animation, they have actually placed a man-made lake underneath it. So that'll be pretty cool. If I had to say one thing that I'm a bit surprised about with this, I'm surprised that they aren't using the quarry wall behind it to work into the layout. I was willing to bet that they would use that to their advantage. However, it seems like they'll just be using it as a backdrop and not actually working it into the coaster itself. But I don't necessarily think it's that big of a deal because they have other coasters that already do that. And this is a prototype coaster, so maybe working it into the terrain would have been a little too much. But I gotta say, just looking at the animations for this thing, this coaster looks pretty funky. It looks straight out of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, and part of that is because of the single rail technology. The track is only 15.5 inches thick. Think about that for a second. That's a little over a foot. Like, holy crap. I think it'll be really cool. I mean, we're expecting it to be super smooth. Of course, it is from RMC. I'm sure they will deliver. But of course, when you talk about a Raptor coaster, you have to think about the pros and the cons. The pros are, it's probably going to be an awesome ride. I'm willing to bet it'll be really good. The main downside is going to be the capacity. So let's do some math here. Each of the ride vehicles are going to seat one person across, and there'll be 8 in a train. That's 8 people per train. And let's say that they run 3 trains. That's 24 people for every 3 trains. Now, I don't know what type of capacity they're looking to go for, but they would have to have really fast dispatches, like literally around a minute or less. Just by nature, things are going to happen, so it's very possible that they won't be able to hit that. So capacity-wise, this coaster will suffer. It's going to have a really long line. I've said it before and I've said it again, these coasters were really kind of meant for smaller parks because it's going to be affordable, and for the parks that don't get huge attendance, they're able to not have a capacity issue. It seems like the T-Rex ones really are meant for the larger parks, so I'm kind of surprised that Fiesta Texas went with a Raptor and not a T-Rex. I think the T-Rex would have been a better fit, then capacity wouldn't be an issue. So, I don't know, we'll just kind of have to go and see how it plays out. But if we just look at this thing, we don't have an official point of view, but just kind of running through the pictures, taking my guess. You start off with a pretty steep lift hill. You go into a quick turnaround. You go down that 90-degree drop, straight up into what looks like a dive loop. Then there looks to be this twister section where you may get some airtime. You're going to pass low to the ground, turn around, go through a twist, drop down, go into an overbank. There looks to be an inversion following that and another bank turn. And then it looks like you're going to hit the brakes. It doesn't look to be a crazy long layout, but I still think that it'll be pretty good. It'll be enough to make you want to get back in line and ride it again. Now, unfortunately, if that line is really long, then you probably won't be able to. But in general, I'm really pleased with how this coaster is looking because it's a way for you to pack in a compact roller coaster with some good elements and allows you to stay within a budget. So, coaster looks pretty darn good, right? Any complaints besides the capacity? Honestly, I hate the name. Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster? Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it. And also the color scheme, I mean, you know, it kind of looks like McDonald's. I personally think that the color scheme is kind of ugly. But I mean, it is Six Flags, so I mean, the fact that they decided to theme it to Wonder Woman isn't that surprising. Supposedly there will be some theming, including like a crashed airplane. There doesn't look to be any theming during the ride layout though. So that's pretty much it for all I have to say. The one final thing I'll mention before kind of concluding and wrapping this whole thing up is if you zoom in close on one of the trains, it looks like to me that is a vest restraint. So I'm not sure I'd go into this thing expecting a lap bar. I mean, I could be wrong, but that looks like some sort of over-the-shoulder restraint. So I don't know. We'll just kind of have to see how that goes. My guess is that the fact that they put that there means that it will have that. It's not just for like animation purposes. So just something to kind of keep in mind. But in general, I think that this is a good fit for Fiesta Texas. They've always kind of been that prototype Six Flags park. They got the first ever SNS 4D, and now they're getting the first ever Raptor. And as for why they're announcing it so early, I mean, it's because they want to beat California's Great America, because they're heavily rumored to get one. So that would make sense that they want to one-up them. Beat them at the announcement so that they can say that they're getting the first ever Raptor track. So just something to kind of keep in mind. I think this coaster will be a big success. Yes, the line will be long, but it'll be a great fit for the park. Already next year for Six Flags is looking to be better than 2017. So I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. Let me know about what you think of Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster. Again, full credit for all of these animations and video go to Fiesta Texas. So of course, next time a new coaster is announced, make sure to stay tuned for that analysis. Of plenty more coming. The announcement season is just getting underway. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys later.